Hello and welcome back. I'm bballjo and this is Work Isn't Resources Soviet Republic, where I review your games. And today this was submitted by JCKiller97. Thanks JCKiller97. This is a pretty awesome example of starting on a populated map and making the best of it. Well. So this is the part that's not developed yet, but that's fine because there's a lot going on. Do you see all the city names? Do you see the number of citizens is about the same size as the last big one that I did here on the review channel? But yeah, it's pretty good. But these numbers may look confusing to you right away, so I want to get those out of the way. 91% health, nice. But 94% happiness. This is pretty hard to get to if you play today. But the game is set to unsatisfied reaction relatively easy, so don't worry about that too much. Building fire, global events, everything else looks like it's set on hard, so yeehaw. Crime and justice not enabled at this point. Don't have to just make stuff more complicated, especially on an existing map. Totally understand it. What I'm a little surprised by is this number is not as large as I would expect it to be with this many people running, but that's fine. That may just mean you've been doing a lot of good things with your money, just investing it in more things and working on your independence, which is awesome. The map is called Republic of Garadvia. I will try to remember to put that in the description. I always try to when I have them, but there you go. This is the map. A lot of population centers already part of the map. Lots of bridges and other things are also part of this, but obviously you have to take them down if you want ship traffic, which it looks like you did, so good for you. But yeah, let's just start down here in the corner to see what we have. And there's one thing very elaborate, very apparent. Yeah, that's the word. Very apparent in this republic. There's something new everywhere. Nothing that, like, you turn your camera a little bit left or right and everything looks a little different. And honestly, I have no idea where this player started. And I'm happy with that. I always feel like close to the border, so somewhere in this area could be a potential starting point. Could also be over here, could also be this island that is there, but we'll get everywhere. We'll just start here and see what happened. So, to start out, this is a pretty nice, large, spread out city, actually. Kind of like it. And the only thing that you will see a lot, and I will just point it out one time, and then we'll try to shut up about it, is the pollution makers are pretty close to the residential areas. However, the health is still pretty high, so I'm pretty sure just having the satisfaction level set to easy helps with pollution, even though pollution is enabled. So just keep that in mind. Otherwise, these are really close to where they're needed. Yeah, that's fine. There you go. I said it once. I will try to shut up about it. But the rest, the cities are nicely spread out with at least storages. Storages I totally get. In different areas. For example, here you have this rail construction office. So this is probably the city that's just supposed to do rail, which is great because they're just that's all they can get to, this side over here, and then they just have to start building everything they can. There's a big gravel storage, and then there's a big open storage. That's just the way you want to set that up. There's a big warehouse here. I'm not sure that that's necessary, but it's fine. And a nice big walkway. That's actually pretty nice. Ooh. I've been trying to do this, and I had issues with putting the walkway just like at an incline, but I have to try that again. I felt like I always have to put the bridges? No, the steps there, but apparently not. This looks nice, as long as I can use it. Can you use it? We go here. Yep, you walk over there, so it should be just fine. I have to try that again. Thank you for showing me that. But yeah, nice city. This feels very USSR-y to me. Just there's a lot going on, a little spread out, and just it feels nice. And it's a lot of vanilla. It's a lot of vanilla in here, which is pretty awesome. This one, you will see this also a lot, just the large shopping center building for the future, but not always maximizing it. This one's actually doing pretty okay. 49 people or 45 people for 200 and some shoppers. That's a pretty good ratio. You don't want to necessarily go much below that, because if you have happiness issues, then this is more than appropriate. But for right now, I don't know. I don't know that this city needs the large shopping centers, and you will see that a lot. But I feel like that's just going to be a lot of planning for the future. This is pretty cool that you actually use forklifts to deliver to your shopping centers at all times. And you will see this a lot too. And I'm actually pretty happy about that, seeing this, because I want to do this, But as you can see, this takes up a whole block in this city just for this stuff. So to do that, it's pretty complicated. I just see something that I have never tried before, and it seems to work. You can probably imagine, trying to get a good eye on here, and I like that the NPCs, the Sims actually look different now. But I don't know if you can tell. You will not be able to run a footpath over here in the way that you want it. Maybe I can now because something has changed or whatever. But using a nice footpath bridge here instead, and that seems to be a pretty good way to get around the footpath too steep thingy. So I will try to remember that, and I think you guys should too, because this is pretty nifty. Nifty little trick. I like it. Cool. So there's a lot of city, and there's a lot more industry. This just looks, to me, this looks beautiful. You have, let's turn this off. To me, this looks beautiful. You have your gravel processing area with everything that needs to happen there. You have a bunch of storages, a bunch of conveyor belts. You doubled them up. I don't know that you need them to be doubled up. That may actually speed up your loading a little bit. It's totally possible. Please tell me if it does. But it's just busy. It's busy and compact, and there's a lot going on. And you know me, last time I complained about, oh, conveyor belts are too long. Ooh, don't like it. But in this case, no, this is great. This is great. I really like how this looks. It's just nice and compact and busy, and that's awesome. And you're using all vanilla ones. That is impressive, because putting the roads under here is not easy at all. So kudos for that. But you have all these gravel storages, and you have the vanilla gravel processing plants that are doing their thing. That is pretty neat. You got the big dumpers here. Yep, that makes perfect sense, and they're just doing their thing. And then you have these guys that have gravel too. I'm assuming the gravel is here. Interesting. I like how you did that. And I also like how you have an engine there and then no engine here. I wonder what the difference is there. But that you have everything connected on this side, even though you have the gravel right here. You could have used just a truck, but you know me. If you can use a train instead of whatever, use a train. I really like this setup. And again, it's really nice and nifty. It doesn't feel like this is clustering the city at all. It's just here. And you don't need a ton of workers for this area, let's be honest. There's a sawmill here that's not taking that many workers. Everything else here, construction offices, distribution office, storages. Wood cutting post. That's actually nice to have that in here as well. That makes perfect sense. But no, just everything looks... This looks nice. And then you have some construction buildings over on this side. No, that's neat. And is this your only way to get workers in here? Yes, it is. And that's awesome. It's in a perfect placement. Love it. Love that setup. And probably that one cableway station can supply more than enough for this whole area. Yeah, Brick Factory is going to be the biggest taker of workers, and this looks really great. Then yeah, these two unloaders right here, they seem nice and just functional. Everything is functional, which is, for me, make it work first, make it look better, make it work better later is totally my motto. So I like what's going on here. And then there's more. Wait, there's more. There's always more. Big old warehouse right there, like that. We got the oil storage, the fuel storage. These are very full. This is probably one of the reasons why your money is not as high as I would expect it to be, but that is pretty nice. Let's check out the map really quick so we don't miss stuff. Okay, what we have here. There was an old city, and again, a large shopping center. In this case, this is overkill. Either you can reduce the workers or get a smaller shopping center, but I understand that you want this, and that is fine. A similar setup over here with the forklifts. I will try to do that more, and again, the heating plant is really close to the city. But hey, if it works, and if that's how you like to play, that's great. Fuel. Well, sorry, not fuel. Oil. There are a bunch of oil pumps over here. A bunch of oil rigs happening around the plastics industry. That looks pretty cool, and I hope... I don't see it. Where is... the pump in there, pump around. Huh. I am surprised to see that these storages are not overflowing. So this is actually working for the plastic factories that you have running here, which, on the other hand, what do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I probably missed one or two, but let's say 12 of these that all run at about not that much oil. Yeah, That could make sense for why this setup is actually working and you don't need to export. I expected to need an export in this side, but that's fine. Also, use your wording. You don't know how to get there, building transparent letters. This one is what's written on top of most of the vanilla buildings, and it works for residential. I think every vanilla building has that button, so you can add that there, and it looks great. Plastics are stored in here and then eventually picked up with that cargo station. I like this setup. I think you could have made it a little more compact, but overall, I definitely like this setup. That makes perfect sense, just the way it's set up, because it's a setup. Cool. No, I like that. I like that a lot. And as you can see, as big as the Republic is, you're still working on a lot of things over here. What's this? Is this road or is this rail? This is rail. Road. Why did I say the wrong thing there? I don't know. And also these tunnels, they're so long. This mountain is humongous and your tunnel is already finished. That's pretty cool. Starkorov. I really like that. So I don't know if that was something that I came up with or if that was something that the game added, but that's at least the second save where I saw that name. So cool. Anyways, more city over here, just another large city, and again using the built-in old populated maps buildings. That's pretty nice. What's this building? I like that. Accounting office. Yes, please. We need that. Actual population in this area is 16,000. Now, what is the area? Probably this one. Click on it. There you go. You're just going to here, and oh, that's a nifty trick. If you're on the the overlays above the clouds, so you can see it when you have one there. That's nice. So it's really just this whole area. That's including that 16,000 people. That is pretty boomer size. But again, you have your shopping centers here that are probably a little bigger than what you need, but that's fine. Now a heating plant. We have a police station here, so it looks like you at least attempted to have crime working, but maybe it wasn't working just right yet, so it's turned off again. That makes sense. Light tower, yes please. There's some tourism going on here, and they're in a pretty cool spot if you like cities. What can you see over there? G, thank you. I mean, you see the Republic, and there's something over there, almost middle of the screen over here that I'm going to show you later, but not yet. Just not yet. So that city is pretty cool. That setup is pretty nice. These are the electrical components, which are not yet completed, as far as I'm aware. But it looks like it's just a really big assembly hall construction thingy. Again, close to the city, but that's fine in this case. I think these may have relatively low pollution, but also doesn't matter because there's a lot going on here, and I really, really like that. I know that the player said that they just turned this on, so excited to see all that work. I am paused because we are at the magic number where my frame rate is not what I want it to be when I let them run, and there's not that much happening at this point anyway, so forgive me on that. We have some quad track here. I really hope this is necessary. Otherwise, it's just adding a lot of track for no specific reason. Not sure what happened there. But a lot of track, so that's lovely to see. This one, I'm not sure I agree with. If I understand this track, I'm gonna criticize that a little bit. If I understand this track, then you come. Ooh, oh boy. There's track here, double track, goes into a large junction right there. Yeah, goes into a large junction right here, and then this junction turns into a bunch of other things. This junction will slow down everything you want to do if you have as much traffic as you have tracks over here. So that's the first thing. You try to find a way to, I think you have it split into one because of this track over here. Try to find a different way to connect to this one and make it double or two-way if you can. Otherwise, yeah, this bottleneck here may cost you a lot of time simply because this is a relatively large junction and that will interfere with a lot of stuff that you want to do. That's the first thing. The second thing is you have 4 tracks coming in here, which is effectively just a really long, and I built these two. I know exactly why I did that, but it's a really, really long rail yard. And then you combine them back into one track. So effectively, this is all just extended weight lines, which sometimes is great, but you only have 2 tracks here, and you probably have enough space here for, I don't know, 20 or 30 trains. It's just a lot, but I really hope, and if you do, please tweet a picture or do something on the Discord for that. Show me how it looks with all the trains full, because I would love to share that. that would be exciting. But yeah, cool. Lots of tracks that probably have a reason, and I hope they will work. Awesome. Let's keep moving. This way we were earlier over here, and then there's another city in this area. The cities feel similar enough in a way of, yeah, the same person built this with the same things in mind, but they're always different enough because they follow the terrain, which there's a lot of flat terrain here that you can use, but overall they don't feel boring. They feel very, yeah, this just a little different, this just a little different here, this just a little different here, and that's great. A lot of workers in these guys, love it. What's this? Accounting office again. Only 7,300 in this city. Looks a little bigger than the other one, but that's cool. I'm sure most of these buildings are actually full, which is awesome. Yeah, I think the one thing that I see, and you have a shopping center here and here, the one thing that I see is, are you not using these buttons a lot for increasing and decreasing your worker count? Not sure, maybe you are, maybe you're not, but that's one thing that's kind of standing out, that most of these buildings are sitting at 100%, and sometimes just not necessary. Sometimes, at some point it maybe was, and then I shut up, but it's good to have more workers, although you have a very high unemployment rate. So that's something that you're probably addressing right now. That's why you built the electronics and some other things over there. And at some point, you're just going to have more workers than you know what to work or what to do with. So that totally makes sense. There's also a big fluctuation in when you're constructing something and when you're not constructing something at the same time. But again, we have the forklifts here, we have the forklifts here. Also, what's exciting, all of these, the food and the clothing, is either home produced or home delivered, which is really exciting to me, and I like to see that a lot. Great. Great, great, great. Another university here. See, this one, there's nobody studying here for reasons. Probably because there's a train waiting right now. Do we have students in there? No students in there. But I'm sure there's a reason for this. But just make sure that you actually manage your staff when you have to. I understand that you don't have to in this playthrough, but every once in a while that could be nice. Big bulldozer, yep, big excavator, that makes perfect sense, and then you ship them out. This is just a really, really nice setup for these buildings. What I don't quite understand looking at is, why did you split this out into two halves? I understand that these are almost mirrored, but they're not. So why not use the same passenger station in the middle here? Why did we have to separate them out? I'm sure there is a reason for it. Just curious. Why you did that. Rail distribution office. Yep, I'm sure that is working just fine. 8 out of 20 tasks with a lot of trains. That makes perfect sense, and they will do exactly what you want them to do. That is pretty neat. Cool. What else do we have here? Obviously, there are some fields in this area. Probably not enough to be self-sufficient, but it's really, really hard with crops. You literally have to cover the whole map in crops. That works. What looks to happen over here is there are workers right here. I wonder if they work on the fields at times. That's interesting. Party foul, auto build, party foul, party foul. That's fine. There's nobody, there's no reason or there's no rule that says you can't do this, but I can see that this was auto build because you haven't touched this site yet. That's fine. That's totally fine, but yeah, we got a bunch of fields here. And this, honestly, I like fields or I like farm setups like this that are not just a optimized way, that are just, well, I have space here for farms, so let's put farms there because we need more crops. So you just do that and take care of everything, and then I'm assuming there is a centralized collection somewhere for all the grain. I don't know where it is, but I'm assuming there is one. Maybe it's going to be this one eventually because there's a rail connection already here that goes somewhere, and the rail construction cranes are already working on it. That could all be the case. Also, all of your roads are asphalt. I'd be really impressed if you built them all by hand, because they take extra long. So that's a pretty big task. Got a little farm up here in the mountains. That's just beautiful. And then here, these guys are using the crops and chemicals to turn it into fabric. Now I wonder... Interesting placement for that truck right there. Also here. Oh, you parked there maybe. I don't know. Doesn't matter that much. But I do wonder if you bring all your crops directly to here. So, no, wait. This one was... no, yeah, this one's crops. And you are crops. Where do you get them from? Where? Really far away. I don't want to follow all that. But yeah, maybe the problem is just this is currently dependent on truck transport, and you want to turn it into train transport, which, you know me, that's awesome. Yeah, this looks like just a nice setup for all the fabric, clothing and fabric production over there. So that's a pretty nice city. Again, this one feels a little large, but that's fine. Make it work. It'll be fine. Construction offices there. These guys here. Yep, more farms. Always build farms. I need to do that in my current playthrough more because we need so many crops. And at some point you need more crops and you need more crops and more crops. And it's just, you're never going to have enough. This one. Oh, I didn't see this one earlier. Let's go over here. Let's go up the mountain a little bit and see what's behind here. Because there's more gravel production. Yep, just wherever you need it. It's pretty low worker intensity, and then you have a lot of gravel quarries right here, and they're producing nicely. And as you can see, the trucks are already backing up, which is exactly what you want to see when you build those. You have a small heating plant here. That's interesting. Must be just a really small city. I wonder if they stay warm enough in the winter, but they probably will. See, are they full? Yep, they are full. So that should be fine. Do we have kids living with... Yeah, we have a lot of 21-year-olds without their own flat, so there's probably... If anyone dies in the winter, they just refill really fast. So that's nice. But this is mostly the old village, plus added some... Just some mechanisms in it, some utilities that are just required. And do this however you want to do them. You're exporting here, that's interesting. Exporting bitumen by truck. That is brave. That is very brave, and I'm sure there's a pretty long distance for them to travel. But that's fine. But yeah, this is one of the ways that happen, or what happens when you play on a populated map. You just have a really awkward space with some really tiny villages, and you either tear them all down and build your own city, or you build around like this. Totally get it. Totally know where this happens. But I like this gravel setup. I like this setup a lot. Wonder what these gravel trucks are supposed to do. Aggregate storage. Where are you? Oh wow, you're really far away. Very interesting. Very interesting how you have that set up, but that's fine. That's pretty nice. What we have here? What we have here? Is this livestock haul range? Interesting. Just like a random place in the middle, just using up the space, and you have a bunch of meat trains waiting there. Kind of like it. Just, hey, I have space here. Let's use it for something. And then you have another village here. That makes perfect sense. So many details, just everywhere you look. And look at this. Look at this. That's a pretty nice shot, I gotta say. Prison town. I got some prisons here and the heating plant right next to it. I don't believe prisoners can leave the... This is interesting. Was crime and justice on, or was it not? Oh, crime and justice is on. I just said it wrongly earlier. Sorry about that. So yeah, crime and justice is on, but I don't think these guys walk to... Do they walk to the heating plant by themselves? Or do you need a bus to move them around? Oh, no, there's a bus. Okay. I wasn't sure, but you also have this large fence around it. This looks pretty nice, honestly. I will tell you that. Obviously, there's not enough. There are not enough prisons currently available, but it's still in technically beta, so we're still figuring out how that works. Not sure what all these parking lots are for. Maybe workers at a prison? Maybe? That would make sense. Wardens, I guess is what they're called. Then you have this nice little city here that's just for prisoners. And you are on top of a mountain, so it's a pretty nice location for a prison, I would say. What's going on over here? Just a nice harbor town with all the oil. This is where all the oil happens. Look at how many pumps you have running. That's just neat. I like it. I like that a lot. All the pumps are connected to something. Pumping, pumping, pumping. Just looks really busy. You have these truck loaders. That is great. I am missing train loaders. You have the ships that load stuff here, but you don't have trains that do any transporting for this material. That is kind of impressive. Or scary. I don't know which one. Also, your bitumen is full. So you're not producing anything right now, but I'm assuming these are hooked up to these harbors in some way, shape, or form. So that is totally fine. Where are we? Oh, there's something here. Yeah, there's a train that transports stuff. See? bballjo, shut up. There's a train going out here doing things. So, there you go. So there's the prison city, and here, over here is actually something that I kind of really liked. I'm going to show you that. Can you see this? Can you see this when I stop scrolling? just on top of the mountain, a bunch of mines that are connected via really nice roads, and you have a nice cableway station connection. You just kind of have everything here. Are you connected to something? There's another cableway station right there. Yep, you're connected to something. So cableway station coming up from both sides, that makes perfect sense. It was probably a pain in the bum to build on this rock, but you got it done. Pretty cool, pretty nice. I like it. Even short pieces at a time will totally work. And then you just take all the iron ore down here to the iron ore processing plants. Looking great. And then you just process it further. And again, this one I really, really like for some reason. I don't know why, but I really, really do. You don't have a road connection here because you couldn't get out this way, I'm assuming. That's fine. Now you can mirror these, so you could really rebuild that if you really wanted to. But look at how many conveyors are sitting here doing their thing and it's actually being used. That is the best part. Straight into the steel mill. I'm not going to do the map now because that's probably boring for people to listen to, but pretty cool. Mechanical components right next to the steel mill. That makes perfect sense. You have a steel train picking up the steel, and it looks like you're not even able to produce enough for the whole republic. So that's a pretty good sign. If you're using either all your steel or you're exporting all your steel, either is a good sign. Distribution office, open storage. Yep, you're just bringing it out there. That's perfect. I like it. Yeah, no, this is pretty neat. Look how many trains are here. This is a really busy train intersection piece. This junction I don't really have problems with because you have to get these trains connected to something. What I do have a problem with is there's a lot of trains that are waiting here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's probably it because it's connected here again. It's a really extensive rail network, and that is great, but there's a junction here that you really, really have to spend time on remaking. Don't want to do that right now, but you see how orange all of this is? This train itself is holding up everything because nobody can go anywhere. I think it will be very helpful if, because this train is currently just turning around, if you add a separate turnaround lane that does not cross over. So you come up here, come out of that lane, go up on a bridge, go over all of this, and reconnect in here so that this loop is taken out of the equation so these trains can actually all continue running. But you don't have to. That's fine. I get it. But yeah, no, I like this. I like how this is all that production line, and then there is a really long... Oh, this is coal. Yeah, that's the other one. There's a coal production setup over here, which we haven't talked about yet. Gosh, there's just so much on this map. I barely covered this bottom third quarter. I don't know. We're like 30 minutes in. That's great. But you got a little coal extraction setup over here. That's great. Did we cover the city yet? Did we cover anything over here? Oh, I think I lost my... No, we started here. I'm pretty sure we started here. We did all of the setup. So there is the next big city, and everyone goes right in here. Nice coal setup, just large. And I can really appreciate these large setups of anything. And no, good job. Nice job. Screenshot. Thank you. And then you just transport this across the mountain. It would be cool if we could put something in the mountain that we can hide this a little bit, but this one, I will say this. This one, personally, feels very good. Why? Because the only way to get this on a train is to take a really long route or to build a tunnel, and a tunnel cannot be sectionalized in a good way right now. Actually, I think it can now, but cannot be sectionalized. So this is actually a shortcut doing this with the conveyor belts like you're doing right now. And that just feels right. That feels like what a conveyor belt should do and should be. So bravo, this looks great. Do it again. And you're actually producing enough to have it available everywhere. Yeah. I would have expected maybe having a transportation setup for your trains over here, but I guess you don't need to. The double conveyor engine over here, I'm not sure that that's needed because you only have one conveyor going in, but that's fine. That's all good. Cool. I never maxed out the conveyor engines, so I don't even know what I'm talking about, to be fair. Okay, what am I missing? Thanks, autosave. So we were here. Yeah, definitely. I want to make sure that I'm not missing too much. And yeah, this is probably the biggest city that you start with on the map. And it still looks big and grand, and there's a lot of stuff going on. There's some wires coming in. There's some industry on the right. There's some industry on the left. Kind of looks like chaos, but it kind of also looks like not chaos at all. It just... Very functional, does exactly what you want to do. I just like it. However, this city doesn't feel like you changed a lot. You just did a really good job of adding things to it organically. And I kind of like that. There's a large, big city not parking lot, but station over here. That's pretty neat. I like that. And it seems to work. And you have a station over here. So yeah, they're all connected. You're just connecting them from the outside. Everyone has pretty good roads. I want to know how you upgraded all your roads. I hope you did it by hand, but I can see this being a pain because you have so many crosswalks in everywhere, which you have to have because that's how these small buildings work. But no, that looks really great. Really like the city. And then it looks like you have an inner city circle. That's pretty nice too. Another sightseeing tower. Cool. Don't see tourists, but that's okay. Great. Another city over here. Lots of parking spots actually by the radio station. That's pretty nice to see. I want to do more of this just when it's appropriate, and I think radio and TV are perfect examples for allowing personal vehicles, even like they don't have a long range, so I don't really want to connect them to large industries, but just the utilities probably makes sense to have vehicles or cars driving out there. That's perfectly fine. Small city expansion here just for private police and sport. That makes perfect sense. You have a little bus station there. Just beautiful. And again, these tunnels everywhere that are actually very functional make perfect sense. I like it. Nuclear power plant. Actually in a pretty cool spot. The only thing that doesn't have is water, but let's just say there's an underground water cavern well somewhere where they pump their water from. I just don't know where they put it next. I'd be really interested to see if the sewer and water update is adding appropriate water outlets for all the big industries, because that would be really cool and would change things like this. But anyways, I like where this is heading to. Look at this. This is like a little checkerboard. That is really nicely set up and organized. I like this because this is all looking straight. That is, ooh, detail, details, 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 and details. I like it. Another screenshot because why not? I don't know what screenshot I'm going to take it for the thumbnail, but you probably know that already. This city, functional city, not necessary, but this interstate interchange, that is pretty. Got the bridges going, got the, yeah, this is nice. This is very nice. I like it. I haven't completed it yet, but that's fine. Got the rail going through here. There's just so much good stuff going on. Love it. There's a rail tunnel going somewhere. There's a heating plant. There's, oh, so much good stuff to see. I don't even know. I hope you can pause the video when you want to see something more specifically, because there's just so much to go through that I hope I can cover it in a reasonable amount of time, because usually I spend like 20-25 minutes when I do a review. And we're way beyond that, and we're nowhere near done. This, just nice setup, great use of a mod. Love it. This is something I'm probably going to steal. I mean borrow. I mean copy. Any of those, yeah. And it's just so, there are cities like everywhere like this, but the cities feel fine, appropriate, nice, well placed, maybe a little far, but just they need to be where they are, and it just makes great sense. I think it just looks nice, and all these vanilla buildings kind of play together, so I am totally happy with that. Which mostly you are using vanilla, which is really awesome. It's not easy to do, and honestly, I don't know how you start it, but this is great. Nuclear fabrication. Yes, that reminds me. This is a pretty cool setup, and I want to show it to you from the beginning. So here, maybe this was the start. I really don't know. It could have been. But this is what that's just a nice island build. It's just nice, period. Over here is where the magic starts, which you should be making a lot of money because of that. But this little city runs the uranium mines over here, which are placed in a really nice area. I really like how this looks. You have a cableway station going in there to bring all your people in. Same thing here. And then you take the uranium, and this is a pretty cool thought idea, and connect it to 3 aggregate loading cableway stations to get it, to 4 cableway stations. So this should be 1,200 units transported, and I don't know if that translates to the aggregate storages too. You take them up here and connect them all into one of these guys, which is currently already full. That's fine. And you just store them and store them and store them into this central storage, and then you bring it to this really nice setup. Really nice. I really like this. The center of Uranium Center. There's probably a name for that we could use, but This is a really, really beautiful setup, and these are all functional. And then you use trucks to actually move this from a distribution office up here, I believe. Yep. No. Oh, yeah, it's this one. It's this one. These are all blue. So they're all assigned to these trucks to load the oxide. And you have so much that you don't know what to do with it. And this is probably something that you could start exporting. And you bring it to these conversion plants, and the conversion plants turn the uranium oxide into the UF6 for containers. You have an in-between storage right here, so you're closer to what you need. That makes perfect sense. You have a worker setup right here. That's great. And then you take the UF6 from these guys via truck again to this storage, and then from this storage you actually move it all the way down here to produce the nuclear fuel. There you go. And for some reason, your nuclear fuel numbers are really low. That is confusing to me, because I don't understand what's going on with it. But yeah, you have the UF6 here, and then the distribution office is probably not that one, obviously. This one's just, this is a source, but where does it go? Yeah, it's just assigned to this distribution office. So something happens with them, which I currently don't know where they go. I probably don't have to know. Is it all here? I'm guessing it should be stored over here at some point, and then you do something with the trains. But just a really nice, large setup for nuclear power. That's pretty neat. This power farm is very interesting. Oh, and you connected them underground. Oh, that's so smart. That looks so much better than what I would have done. That's great. Love it. No, this is just really... Oh, yeah, the wind farm. And I hope this works. Usually wind farms or renewable energy cause a lot of issues because you don't have constant wind. We have 1 meter per second right now, so these guys are not producing jack. Click on you. Even when I run this, they're not producing anything, and that always does something to your power grid, like essentially turning it off one way. And it's like a river, it flows one way first, then it has to start flowing the other way, and it takes a long time for that to happen, and that's a time when you don't have power, and it's weird. But cool setup, large setup, love the large setups, really, really great. Over here looks like just a big industrial park. It's kind of nice. 2 concrete plants, interesting. 2 asphalt plants. Yeah, you were doing something big over here. Oh, and it's all helicopter based. Interesting. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. This is your construction office zone for the rest of the Republic, because you have about 80 helicopters sitting here. That is pretty neat. Speaking of rest of the Republic, what's this? Harbor Grain. Food factory. All of these are food factories. You know what's cool about this? That this one station can reach every single of these food factories because of the underground pathing that we have available now. That is pretty awesome. Just helps. This helps with everything. And you have everything connected really, really nicely. Really like that. There's a lot of food stored here. What I'm surprised by is I don't see a train bringing food over here. So you drop food over here by truck, which means this guy is literally only dropping off grain. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Where's the distribution office? Right here, and they're going somewhere. They're doing something. Oh, there they are. There's a truck. You full? Yeah, you're full. So that works perfectly fine. I'm guessing you may have another distribution office on this side as well. Awesome. So that's pretty neat. And over here you have your city, and actually I have to show you this. Really like that too. It just looks neat. It's a roundabout, but a stylish roundabout. Is that the best way to describe it? I hope so. But just look at it, and that is pretty neat. Another screenshot. I'm going to take one of these. I swear. I promise. But again, we have the large shopping centers. I think you can get away with just using a lot smaller ones, or using more public transport to get your passengers out here. I highly recommend that. It's just another little challenge that you can add to it, which I think you overcame a lot of challenges already, so kudos. Kudos. Yes, this city is just... I wonder if this was set up this way in the first place, that it was a roundabout, or if you actually had to remove the center of the city to make it a roundabout look alike like this. Anyways, it looks really nice. You have 2 direct train connections here. They seem to work great, so keep it up. Having 4 trains on here would scare me, but as long as they're relatively... Thanks, autosave. As long as they're relatively full most of the time, that's fine. But even if they're not, that's cool. Probably want to turn up your student weight. No, there's a capacity of 1,500 at the station. There's no need to turn any of the passenger groups off. Cool. More construction here. There's another heating plant really close to these guys, but your help is still high. So that's the only thing I highly recommend you change next time. Just the pollution seems to not affect you, but it should kill half of your republic really fast if you have it this close. And I think it's just another level of playing the game. But it's also sometimes really unrealistic and super annoying, just the way they work. So I get that you don't. More livestocks over here. Makes perfect sense. I'm assuming these are all for crops. Yep. And then you use the distribution offices to bring stuff to your livestock haul ranges, and then you drop off the rest here. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Simple, clean, nice setup of large industry using this different distribution offices. Makes perfect sense for all of that. I do like the parallel roads that you have on both sides here. That's pretty neat. Then you have the nice dirt path connecting them. Yeah, that's... I know why. I get it. Started a new city here, again, using the large. That's fine. I guess you may just not know how big your city is going to be when you're done with it, when you plan this piece, so that makes perfect sense. I do hope you're going to put some bridges in here for your roads. I think that will look great, or even tunnels if you want to. There's a little more oil. Yeah, this oil field I really like, but I think they're only producing enough, just about enough for this guy, which is fine. You don't have excess. You don't have... No, you're taking your excess via ship somewhere. I'm assuming that goes to the refinery that we saw earlier. That is pretty neat. Where are we? We're on the south side of this. Wow. Did I go through everything? I feel like I didn't. No, I think I hope that we did everything. And just making sure, I'm gonna fly over this before I miss something. I'm not missing something. I would like a train that goes the other way on this... No, actually, we're going to take this train as a way out. If it's too laggy, I'm going to turn it off, but let's hope that this sometimes somewhat works. Do this. Yeah, I think this is acceptable. Let's see the rest of the Republic just a little bit. Gosh, yeah, it's a little laggy. That's why I usually don't do the large Republics, but I think this was fine. If you watched this far, really appreciate it. I hope I can turn down the sound of the train at the end a little bit, but it should be fine. But I really appreciate you watching. I hope you like these types of reviews. If you have a review that you want reviewed, or if you have a save that you want saved, see what I did there. Please submit it to me via Discord. It's the easiest way. There's always a Discord link down in the description. Just click on it. You can join my server. On the server itself, there's an FAQ for when you want to submit saves to me. It's very important that you follow that, because if you don't follow that, there's a high chance that I cannot open your save and can't review it. If there's a lot of back and forth, one of us gets frustrated and don't want to do it anymore. Often it's really the players that just stop submitting something because it doesn't work in the first time. But please just follow the FAQs. It should take care of everything that we need to do. This looks really cool. I'm really glad I clicked this train to get the outro in. But that's all I have. If you like my channel, all that stuff, maybe like and subscribe. If you want to support me more than that, I do have a Patreon. I do have PayPal and other things too, as well, if you want to join there. But yeah, I try to stream semi-regularly on the YouTube. I stream more regularly on the Discord because it's more conversational. So if you want to come by there, just have a chat. Cool. Usually it's starting between 7 and 8 Central Time. It's not very often during the day, so I understand Europe may not have the best time for that. But yeah, that's enough self-promo, I hope. Really appreciate you guys. Really like this Republic, JC Killer 97. Good job. Nice, big everything. That may be the slogan on the thumbnail. We'll see. Yeah, that's all I have. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye.